Brexit, Article 50 happens next Wednesday. At last. I say at last because I think it's become somewhat of a distraction. Many things have fallen by the wayside, really, because we have become so focused on this. But one thing pops up its ugly head once again. What is that one thing? Let's find out. Now, it may well be my mistake, but the Conservatives have committed fraud, haven't they? Haven't they? They are still being investigated by the Electoral Commission and have now been fined, I guess we all know, £70,000. The Electoral Commission have said of the Tories, Theresa May's party hindered and caused delay to the investigation. No surprise there. So where are the investigations taking place? Well, in areas such as the follows: Avon and Somerset, Cumbria, Derbyshire, Devon and Cornwall, Gloucestershire and London, to name but a few. And I live in one of them, Derbyshire. Now, do you remember me uploading a video on Theresa May's Chief of Staff, Nick Timothy? Well, remember the successful Thanet campaign, which saw McKinley beat the then leader Nigel Farage with a very narrow 2,000 vote majority. Well, apparently, former Tory chairman Grant Shapps has alleged that Nick Timothy orchestrated the Stop Farage campaign and was based in the constituency for much of the election period without the proper declarations being made. The Tories deny this obviously and claim, rather unusually, that its national anti-UKIP campaign was headquartered in Thanet. Now, what other response on this fraud, yes, fraud, have the Tories given? And you'll like this. The Conservatives believed the other parties to be just as bad. Now, that's a great response. I'm a bit short of money, and next week I might rob a bank. And when I'm arrested, I'll just say, well, the geezer up the road did it, so I thought I would have a go as well. I don't think I would get very far, and I think I would get slightly more than a rap on the knuckles, and certainly more than a fine of £70,000, which don't have that much of an effect on a party that is full of millionaires. They say lead by example, but I think the example they are setting at the moment, one would think they are taking instruction from the biography of Ronnie Biggs. So the Conservatives, party of elites, rich MPs running our country, they already, as we speak, have an investigation on their plate. But if Theresa May, who, as I have said before, was selected and not elected, is so good and competent, why then did she struggle in 2014? She was incapable of finding someone impartial to chair the government's child sex abuse inquiry. Twice. Why then was one of the Home Office's lowest ebbs? It was a May-endorsed plan to send roving vans encouraging illegal immigrants to go home or face arrest, which sparked widespread revulsion, as you would expect, and got hardly anyone to actually leave. Why then did it come about that Broken Rainbows, a charity for LGBT victims of domestic abuse, which gets more than half its cash from May's Home Office, according to BuzzFeed News, chucked a goodly chunk of it directly on lavish travel expenses, there's that word again, expenses, flowers and other nonsense for its preening CEO, raising questions once again about the judgment of May and those around her. The Conservatives, the party running our country, making cuts to the disabled, running with their towels between their legs over Nick contributions, still where they are. They didn't, contrary to belief, go back on Nick payments because they were pressured by the backbenchers and Labour. They realised they had gone against Cameron's manifesto and they would have to bring about an election. They know they would be out. Well, with what's going on, they would have been out. Or so you would think. All this shit sticking to the Tories, all these antics, that if they were done by you or I, we would be as good as lashed for it. With them, nothing. A fine. Just a fine. What does that do? All this, and still people don't make their voice heard. Why? I'm asking why. Because I haven't got a clue why. I really don't. Sure, we can go on about who is behind the Tories, elites and rich families. I mean, really behind them. And that would say why. But I mean, with the public, people moan and complain, but they just don't do anything about it. I just don't get it. How much longer do we have parties like this running our country? Basically doing whatever they want for not really any betterment of the public. It's odd. Very odd. What do you make of what's going on? Comment below what you really think of the Tories. Really think. Try not, if you can, to include swear words. The best ones I'll copy and paste to Twitter. Let's start to make our voices heard, because it's only us, the public, the voter, as I say every time, that if united, we really can have a better society and a better political system. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you want to be part of the change. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.